We know as Christians that we are called to love and serve each other. But what is the best way to do this? Well, St. Paul, speaking to the Corinthians today, refers to the Macedonians, who are generous through their poverty. But what type of poverty is this? Well, perhaps, so I think what St. Paul is referring to today is that the best way to help others is to be spiritually poor, surrendering our will to the will of God. And he alludes to this by saying, they offered themselves, their own selves, first to God, and under God to us. In each situation they find themselves in, rather than following their own will, the way that they think they should help others, they pray first and they discern God's will for that situation. And that's how they learn to help others. Sometimes when we think what we do, when we help others and we try to follow our own will or do what we think is best, without consulting God in prayer or discerning, we can actually make a situation worse. We could end up giving a person the wrong advice. We may think that we're helping them when actually we're not. And sometimes we may actually, without realizing, be looking for consolation for ourselves. But if we consult God first, if we discern what his will is for that situation, how to help others, sometimes we might find that the best way to help others is to actually not help them at all or to give them any assistance at all, but actually just to pray for them. An example might be with an addict. We can't really help an addict unless they're willing to help themselves first. So we can't really offer them the support they need unless they're willing to admit that they have a problem. The Church's teaching on subsidiarity means that we don't always give everything to someone that they need. Rather, we give them the means to help themselves, so that they too, we respect their dignity as a human being, and that they receive their dignity in the means that we give them, that they're able to provide for themselves, that they too are able to work. And lastly, sometimes when we are helping others, if we discern through properly the help that a person needs, sometimes we need to know when to let go of someone, to actually refer them on to someone who has that expertise and to be able to help them. So it might be that we refer them on to their GP, or maybe encourage them to go and see their GP, or encourage them to see a counsellor. So following the example of the Macedonians today, let's pray that when we see others in need, when we see others struggling, that we may discern God's will and how we best proceed forward in helping them, so that through our own spiritual poverty, in following God's will, we can be as generous as possible so that they can get the help that they need.